In 1944, 36 young men walked into a basement. It was under the football stadium at the University of Minnesota. They were healthy, they were strong, they were mentally stable. They were offered soft beds, warm rooms, and unlimited support. All they had to do was participate in a study on human endurance. 6 months later, almost every single one of them was psychologically destroyed. Not from physical torture, not from beatings, not even from starvation. The researchers did something much simpler. They systematically isolated them. They took away their shared meals, they stopped them from working together, they severed their connection to the group while keeping them in the exact same room. Within weeks, things fell apart. Men with no history of mental illness began cutting themselves. One man chopped off 3 of his own fingers with an axe. Others had vivid, terrifying hallucinations. Their bodies were fine, their minds were collapsing, and it was all triggered by a single, quiet signal. You no longer belong. This was the Minnesota isolation experiment, and it revealed something deeply disturbing about human nature. Your fear of rejection is not a character flaw. It is not insecurity. And you cannot just think your way out of it. It is a 300,000-year-old biological alarm system designed to keep you from dying alone in the dark. You are living in the modern world, but your brain is running software written for a reality that disappeared thousands of years ago. And until you understand how that software works, you will stay trapped inside a cage built entirely by the opinions of people who don't even know your name. Think about the last time an awkward silence happened in a room. Your heart raced, your stomach dropped, your palms got sweaty. Why? Nothing dangerous happened. Nobody pointed a weapon at you. To understand why your body reacts like that, you have to look at where your brain was built. For 99% of human history, there was no such thing as living alone. If you were alive 100,000 years ago on the African savanna, your survival depended on a small group, maybe 50 to 150 people. Inside that group, you had everything: shared food, fire, protection from predators, people to carry you when you broke an ankle. Outside that group, you were dead. It was that simple. If the group decided they didn't like you, they didn't give you a warning. They didn't pull you into an HR meeting. They just left you behind. And in the ancient world, being left behind wasn't a social problem. It was a death sentence. You lasted a few days, maybe a few hours. Your brain evolved under this constant threat. Every time an ancient human made a social mistake, a tiny alarm went off inside their nervous system. The humans who didn't care what others thought drifted away from the group. They got eaten by cave hyenas. They froze in the night. Their genes vanished. You are not descended from those people. You are the direct descendant of the most anxious, hyper-vigilant, crowd-pleasing humans who ever lived. When someone gives you a cold look today, your conscious mind knows you are safe. You are standing in line at a grocery store, but your ancient brain doesn't know what a grocery store is. It thinks you just alienated the group, and it thinks the cold night is coming. For decades, scientists thought social pain was just a metaphor. Physical pain was real. Social pain was just hurt feelings. Then, in 2003, a neuroscientist named Naomi Eisenberger at UCLA tested this. She put people inside an fMRI scanner. She had them play a simple virtual game called Cyberball. You throw a digital ball to 2 other players on a screen. They throw it back to you. Simple. What the participants didn't know was that the other 2 players were just a computer script. At first, everyone passed the ball equally. Then, the script changed. The 2 digital players started throwing the ball only to each other. They completely excluded the person in the scanner. Eisenberger watched the brain scans in real time. The moment the person realized they were being left out, their brain lit up. And it wasn't just any part of the brain. It lit up the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex. That is the exact same region of the brain that processes physical pain. Getting left out of a fake game by a computer program didn't just make people sad. To the brain, it was registered as physical injury. Your nervous system doesn't have a separate system for hurt feelings. It uses the exact same alarm it uses for a broken bone. Because to an ancient human, losing your place in the group was just as fatal as getting mauled by a predator. If this system kept us alive for hundreds of thousands of years, why is it making us so miserable today? The answer comes down to scale. In the ancestral environment, you spent your entire life around the same small group of people. You knew everyone. Everyone knew you. The feedback was local, it was slow, it was manageable. Today, you wake up and unlock your phone. Before you even get out of bed, your brain is exposed to thousands of opinions. You see thousands of faces, thousands of judgments, thousands of potential groups that might reject you. Your ancient software was never designed for this. It wasn't built to care about strangers on the internet. It wasn't built for anonymous comments. It wasn't built for a workplace with 5,000 employees. This is what scientists call an evolutionary mismatch. You buy clothes you don't even like to impress people you don't even respect. You hide your real thoughts because you are terrified of being cast out. You stay in jobs that drain your soul because walking away feels like jumping off a cliff. We built a world of infinite connection, but we are running it on a brain built for a tiny, fragile village. Here's the strangest part of the entire trap. Your brain tricks you into believing that everyone is watching you. Every mistake, every stutter, every bad hair day. Psychologists call this the spotlight effect. At Cornell University, researchers ran an experiment on this. They made students wear an embarrassingly bright, ugly t-shirt. It had a massive picture of a singer they found embarrassing. The students were mortified. The students had to walk into a room full of their peers, stay for a short time, and leave. Afterward, the researchers asked the students a simple question. How many people in that room noticed your shirt? The students guessed that at least 50% of the room saw it. The actual number? Less than 20%. Most people didn't notice at all, and the ones who did forgot about it almost immediately. Why? Because everyone in that room was trapped inside their own head. They weren't looking at the shirt, they weren't judging the singer, they were worrying about their own clothes, their own posture, their own hair, their own social standing. You spend your entire life worrying about what others think of you. And you are completely blind to the fact that they are far too busy worrying about what you think of them. You analyze your past conversations for hours. They forgot you even spoke. You are the main character in your own mind. But in everyone else's mind, you are just an extra in the background. In John Calhoun's famous Universe 25 experiment, hundreds of mice were placed in a paradise with unlimited food and water. There were no diseases, no predators, no physical threats. Eventually, the social density became too high. Mothers abandoned their young. Dominant males stopped protecting their territory. A generation grew up entirely unable to form social bonds. And even though they had everything they needed to survive physically, the entire colony went extinct. Notice what actually killed them. Not isolation, not crowding. It was the loss of control over their own social world. Every mouse became a threat, a rival, a judge, all at once, all the time. That's the same trap you're in right now. Not because you're alone, because you've lost the ability to filter who gets a vote in your head. The mice had no choice. You do. You cannot delete 300,000 years of human evolution. Your amygdala will still fire. Your body will still release cortisol when you feel judged, but you can override the software. First, shrink your circle. Your brain was built for a small group of 100 people, not 8 billion strangers on a screen. Sociologist Robin Dunbar proved that human brains have a cognitive limit for maintaining stable relationships. Beyond roughly 150 people, your nervous system simply cannot process who to care about. Pick 5 or 6 people whose character and judgment you actually respect. That is your real circle. Everyone else is just background noise. When an anonymous commenter or a distant acquaintance judges you, remind yourself they are not in your 150. Their input carries 0 evolutionary weight. Second, reframe the panic. Next time your heart starts pounding before you speak up in a room, stop and name it for what it is. Your heart isn't racing because you are in actual danger. It is racing because an outdated piece of code is trying to protect you from a threat that died out thousands of years ago. You are not standing on the edge of the dark savannah anymore, and the cage holding you back isn't made of other people's opinions. It is made of your decision to believe them. If this journey into our past resonated with you, don't forget to subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos as we continue to unlock the ancient roots of human nature, biology, and the human mind.